Hello everybody, my name is Mike Lagerquist.
And I'm Becki True.
And we are here again with another episode, well, a mini episode, shall we say, of the Woven Record, because we want to take advantage of something that's a big thing in Mankato, and I think it's probably a big thing around the country as well. And it's something, Mankato has been known throughout the years for its Christmas holiday displays. We had a Broad Street, where it was just a long stretch, and it was nice because there was a boulevard in the middle. And whenever I think about that, I think of that scene when George Bailey was running along in It's a Wonderful Life, because it was just, you would just go down one stretch, you'd turn around, you'd come back on the other side. And then North Mankato, just across the river, had something too. It was Merry Circle. So instead of going down and back, you actually got to go around a little bit. And the great thing about that was in both cases, you tied in a community aspect to it, in that in both of those cases, they were neighborhoods, but there was always a bucket for the food pantry and just ways to collect money for those in need. Right,
and now it's Kiwanis Lights, which you're a big part of.
I wouldn't say big part of, but I have been involved as Kiwanis Holiday Lights is in its 13th year, and it has grown, but it really took as its basis the La Crosse, Wisconsin Rotary Club has had a lighting display for a long time. And Scott Wochik is one of the guys who took that idea. Scott's from Wisconsin, as you can tell by his Green Bay Packer attire. But they took that idea, they went and talked to the guys, mostly guys and women who coordinated that event, and put together something that is kind of operated through the Mankato Kiwanis Club, but it is a separate nonprofit entity, and they really tie into local nonprofits. The nonprofits help get the park set up. This year it's 2 million lights, and they take about 5 weekends beginning in October based on when Thanksgiving falls, because they kick off the day after Thanksgiving, that Friday, and run until New Year's Eve. It used to be they would do it like 5 nights a week. Now they do it every night of the week, and it really is quite a big thing.
Yeah, and it's taken some of the burden off the neighborhoods, right? I mean, because if you lived in the neighborhood or near the neighborhood, and you had those light displays, it was a traffic issue, wasn't it?
Yeah, and there is still a little bit of a complaint about that, because we get so many cars lined up that it sometimes backs up onto the highway, especially on the weekends. Mm-hmm. And that means too that it goes through some of the area neighborhoods, which is tough on them, but we try as much as we can to keep the traffic flowing and all of that. So on the second weekend, I believe, of their setup, I went down to Sibley Park and talked to Scott, got some nice footage. One of the big things too is that they get a lot of assistance from the Minnesota State Mankato athletic teams, and Bethany Lutheran College in Mankato and Gustavus Adolphus College in St. Peter. So that makes up about 40% of the volunteer effort to get the park set up. And then the nonprofits help staff it during the run, and as part of that, based on the number of hours that they have contributed, they get a cut. And I think Scott said that last year it was between $1,200 and $1,500 per nonprofit, which is a great bump for them for doing some things that help tie in and create awareness for their organizations as well.
So it's a real community event.
It really is. During COVID, when they found out that the athletic teams were not going to be able to participate, they decided that they wouldn't do it at all, because that was such a strong part of the base. People thought, well, why don't we just decorate and then have folks drive through, because it's either drive through or you can walk through. And the big thing there was that if you make it only cars, it'll back up traffic even more, and the neighborhood will be impacted that much more.
Do you have any idea how many people came through last year?
You know, it is probably on the website. I don't have that information right off the top of my head, but each year it's in the hundreds of thousands of people. Because especially on weekends when people who have to travel come down, it really builds up. It's mostly local people on some of the weeknights, but that's good too because that creates an opportunity for the locals to do that. But I always say the best night to be there, and it's usually one of the least attended, is when we get snow falling.
Right.
Because it is a gorgeous location down
right.
there. Sibley Park, for those who haven't been there, is kind of down in the valley at the confluence of the Minnesota and the Blue Earth rivers. And it really makes a beautiful setting because there are trees all around. There's a grand lawn area. The city of Mankato donates some of their crew time and their lifts to put lights in the trees, so they're above you as well as around you. And it really just, you get in there, there's music playing, and if you don't get into the spirit of the holidays, then there's something missing in you,
Right,
I think.
Right.
Well, what do you think? That's enough talking?
I think so.
We don't have any footage from the show itself, but if you go to Kiwanis, that's Kiwanis, holidaylights.com, or do a search on Facebook, you will find plenty of footage. So let's hear from Scott Wochik and Kiwanis Holiday Lights.
So this is your tutorial if you ever want to know what Kiwanis Holiday Lights is all about. My name is Scott Wochik. I'm the president of Kiwanis Holiday Lights. I've been in charge since the inception. We're entering year 13 right now. It is a free event open to the public. We ask for cash donations and food donations that we give back to 19 area food shelves, and 70 other nonprofits get the cash. They're out here helping us. It takes 5 weekends to put this all together. Thousands of volunteers work every weekend just to get all these lights up and running. We're over 2 million Christmas lights right now. We have over 100 displays out in the park. 100% volunteer driven. We do this because we love it. It's a great event for the family, and not only that, for the Mankato area community.
Yeah, tell us about how the nonprofits who help put it all together benefit from the whole effort.
Yeah, absolutely. So we only have signs for our nonprofits. So there's no marketing in the park for like a business, anything like that. So the nonprofits that help us, they put in their time to put up the lights, take down the lights, and help us run the event. They each have a tree with their name in front of the tree, and we use that as a decorating contest too. So there's 70 nonprofit trees that are aligned the park that you can vote on and stuff, and the amount of hours that each one of those nonprofits put in, that's how we determine how much money we give back to each one of them.
And do you have a rough estimate of how much that's been through the years?
Well, in the past 2 years, because we've been really good, it averages between $1,500 and $2,000. So
per nonprofit?
Per nonprofit, so not bad for donating 60 hours of time, and we cut them a check for that.
Okay. Talk a little bit about the operation of the park between Thanksgiving, day after Thanksgiving, and New Year's Eve.
Yeah, the operation itself. So we open up the day after Thanksgiving. We have our parade the opening night, and then we are open until December 31st. We shut everything down. But during that time frame, we open at 5 o'clock every night, and we're open till 10 o'clock on Fridays and Saturdays. We're open till 9, Sunday through Thursday. And we have those volunteers that are still out there helping us set up. They come and manage, so they're the ones directing traffic, helping people cross the road. And then we have rangers who are in charge, like myself, that come, and we're in charge of the park that night, and we're in charge of all the volunteers. And basically our most important job is to make sure the lights stay on. Okay. So we do, constantly throughout the night ranger is walking around, triage, making sure that the lights are still going, and if anything's broken, we fix it and just keep the event going.
And what are some of the fun things that have happened during the run of the show each year? Well,
there's multiple engagements that's happened in the park. We've had, ironically, we've blown a transformer, so we've had all the lights go out on us. But we have great partners with Excel Energy and a couple other electrical companies that put everything right back up for us and get it running. We now have a train. We have train rides on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday is the train rides, and we run those from 5:30 to 8:30 every night. So it's pretty cool, and the train cars are behind you, so you can get a quick snap of those. But people seem to love that, and you get to ride a train through the park. So that's been a neat addition.
And every year there are proposals that take place.
Oh, there's lots of proposals on the bridge and the walking tunnels. We've actually had weddings take place in the park as well.
Okay. What's new this year?
So new this year, as we have 20 new displays. So we've actually added the 12 Days of Christmas. So we're going to scatter that through the park. So as you walk through, you'll be able to find the 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 12. And each one of those displays is anywhere from 8 feet tall to 14 feet tall. It varies based on, the partridge in a pear tree is a little bit smaller, but then you got Lords of Leaping, it's a little bigger. So we'll scatter those throughout the park. We have 250,000 more Christmas lights, which takes us up over 2 million. And then we have some new light technology we're going to be testing out, where you can actually, it reminds me of your LED TV at home, where you can play a movie on this stuff. You can write Merry Christmas and have it spin in a circle. There's a lot of different cool things we can do with it. So we're testing that out this year on a 20-foot tree that'll be in the park.
Okay, and I know you do purchase a lot of new things every year, but you also have things donated. Somebody saw a story on KEYC and asked about donating a tree.
We take donations. There's individuals that have 8-foot snowman. They're like, hey, can I donate it? And they'll drop it off, and if it needs some touch-up, we will take the lights off of it. We'll put LED lights on it. If it needs welding, we'll weld it, and we'll put it back out in the park. So it's neat for people who have seen them donate things. They go through the park and they'll see the display they've donated, because we fix it up, we make it look new, and put it back out there.
And when you first started this out, you got help from Crosse, and there were some stipulations that they gave.
Yeah, Crosse was a big help for us because we didn't want to reinvent the wheel, so we had them help us. And a couple of things they said were, hey, we'll help you guys, but you have to make sure that this event stays free and open to the public. And we're like, absolutely. For anybody that can come here, and if you don't have the funds, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can just walk through the park, you can enjoy it. And then if you want to stop into our concessions area, we have everything's in there dirt cheap. I mean, $1 for hot chocolate. I mean, we're not talking, we don't try to price anything expensive in there. So it's a nice family event.
Yeah, and the LED lights was another.
That's huge. We needed, everything had to be LED. We learned year one, we did have some non-LED rope lighting, and it's amazing how it draws power down and things go dimmer. But since then, we're 100% LED in the park, and it makes a huge difference on our electrical bill and everything else.
Okay, what do you say to people who are thinking about coming for a first time this year?
I'd recommend make the trip to Mankato, come see it. If you can only make it on the weekends, show up early. If you can make it during the week, your best nights to come where it's not too busy are Tuesday, Wednesdays.
Okay. And you can always find out more information at
KiwanisHolidayLights.com, or you can check out our Facebook page, same thing, Kiwanis Holiday Lights. We've got Twitter, we've got Snapchat, we've got a bunch of social media. You can find all the information.
All right, well, that was kind of a static shot of Scott, but you could see from that how all of the volunteers get involved in it, and that big thing that they were kind of working around is the center tree in the middle of the grand lawn area. I think that's been new. What's happened is a lot of places, either communities or individuals, have kind of phased out their lights. Either they're too expensive or they're too old to be able to maintain that, and they donate it, as Scott mentioned, to Kiwanis Holiday Lights. They adapt it and then find a place for it in the park, and I think that big tree may have been one of those cases. The train that's coming out full force this year was a purchase, I believe.
Well, we're going to include the links that Mike mentioned earlier below in the description, so take a look there and come on down and enjoy the lights and donate if you can to support the community.
And you should be able to do that online too, if you like the endeavor and want to support the community. Scott, I don't know if I can't remember if he said it in the video, but there are some area food shelves that stock their shelves for about 6 months based on what they take in, because we have a trailer down there that we fill up, and then the people come at the end of the night and take that all back. We've had them show up in vans, and the van has hardly been big enough to take all of the donated food items.
Well, people certainly need it right now, too.
Exactly.
So if you can, help contribute.
Yep, and speaking of contributing, if you've got a story that you would like to share with us, please send it to us at stories@wovenrecordmedia.com. Or if you'd like to become more involved in providing some stories as a journalist, check it out or send us a message at journalist@wovenrecordmedia.com. Again, Those links are down below.
And like and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming along. We think you'll like it here. Please check in more often.
We're going to do a little behind the scenes since we're in holiday mode and a little shorter video today. So we're in Magway co-working space with Magway Collective in the Hubbard Building on Riverfront, downtown Mankato. And as some of you have commented, this is a pretty interesting space, and it is. It's a very interesting modern co-working space. If you see these areas over here, those are individual phone booths where when you are working here and you have to take a call or something, then you can go in there and have a little privacy and keep your conversation a little bit private. And there's all different kinds of cubbies, like the one we were in recording earlier tonight for the podcast. And there's a nice sized conference room over here that if you're a member, you can rent this, or reserve it rather, and have your meetings in here. Out here is the kind of lunch break area where you can bring your lunch, or when I have some groups down here after hours, we'll have our sandwiches here and meet up here before we go into the space in there to have our meeting. But it's well stocked. The wooden spoon provides some of the meals here that you can purchase and have. There's a pretty nice barista coffee maker over there for the coffee aficionados, and it's just well maintained and well stocked. It's a very comfortable space.
We should mention Wooden Spoon is a small town bakery that does a lot of really healthy meals too, so that's great.